Reuters Ipsos, it appears to show Republican voters doing what Republican lawmakers have been doing since the verdict, namely falling in line. Take a look at the row in the middle of the screen. Post-conviction, 14% say they would not vote for the former president. Pre-trial, 24% said they would not vote for him if he were a convicted felon. Said another way, Republicans in this poll say they are now more likely to vote for the former president since he became a felon. Joining us now, two CNN political commentators from the right and left, respectively, David Urban and Van Jones. Van, I mean, you see Republican support for the former president has grown post-conviction, at least in that poll. Should the Biden campaign be worried about a similar effect, you think, in swing voters?
Well, I think this is predictable. I mean, first of all, let's not forget, this was not the strong case. This is not Donald Trump leading an insurrection against democracy. This is not Donald Trump stealing sensitive documents that if I had stolen the White House, I'd be in Guantanamo. This isn't all the abuse of women cases. This was the hush money case, falsification of records around some sex stuff. When Bill Clinton got impeached for stuff like that, he went up 10 points. And so it's not surprising that you're seeing this kind of effect. But I think that Democrats should let the Republicans fan and faint and act like they're acting, and they want to have January 6th every day, tearing down American institutions and saying the system's corrupt. But we've got to get back to talking about stuff regular Americans care about. This case was not going to be the case that brought Donald Trump's numbers down. It was always going to be the case that brought him up.
David, we hear former President Trump and his allies blasting the justice system as partisan, weaponized against Republicans. How do you square that with President Biden's son standing trial on gun charges in federal court next week, and for that matter, Democratic Senator Bob Menendez standing trial on federal bribery charges in Manhattan?
Yeah, I think both things can be true, can't they, Anderson? This case was, kind of the zombie case. Our colleague Ellie Honig wrote a great piece that appeared today in New York Magazine, which I would implore everyone to read, about how this was cobbled together in a bespoke fashion by an incredibly political district attorney who won't prosecute other cases but chose to revive this case. So I don't see this having a lot of stickiness, as you pointed out in the poll. I think Republicans will fall in line. They're going to be more inclined to support Trump. You saw a historic fundraising day today. Historic. In one day, raised over $50 million. And interestingly, 30% of those donors are
okay.
Okay. Well, they generally don't lie about those things. You can verify it pretty shortly. But over 30% of those new donors, those donors are new people, new into the polls, putting money from their coffers into the campaign. And so if they're so motivated to open their checkbooks and support Donald Trump in campaigning, they're going to be, I think, equally as motivated to show up at the polls come November. And so I do think there'll be a little bit of a bounce, as Van said. Clinton got a bounce. I think Trump will. But we're gonna get back to the substance here. We're gonna have a debate in June. CNN's gonna host it. I look forward to seeing President Trump talk about the issues, and if he sticks to that, I think there'll be clear sailing to November.
Van, there are all those questions about where will the Nikki Haley voters go? I mean, Nikki Haley has gone back to President Trump and for the former president. I mean, why won't all those people who continue to vote for Nikki Haley in primaries follow her lead and go back to the former president?
Well, I mean, the Democrats got to give a good reason. I mean, part of what's going on now is that Donald Trump is pulling off this trick of, on the one hand, coming across as the underdog, who's beleaguered, he's the martyr, everybody's against me, and kind of getting the sympathy vote. At the same time, he's a top dog. He's like this almost like mob boss figure inside the Republican Party that makes everybody come and kiss his ring and kiss his toe and kiss his toe. You're in this weird underdog, top dog kind of thing, and it's working for him right now. And what's going to have to happen is, once we get further into the summer and we have the debates and we have the conventions, Democrats got to refocus on what we can do to help ordinary people. We are all too focused on Donald Trump. Trump is focused on Trump, and so is everybody else. And so we got to get out of this narcissistic trap he's put us in and talk about real issues, and that's going to be what moves Biden, not this stuff.
Van, you're President Biden weighing on the verdict. How do you think he should approach this in the coming months?
Me?
No, yeah. How should Van? How do you think Biden should approach it?
I think Biden did fine today, because Biden should defend American institutions. He should defend that jury, defend the judges, defend the witnesses. He should defend American institutions, and then move on to talk about the American people and let other people talk about Donald Trump.
David, do you think Speaker Johnson, Tim Scott, Congressman Jordan, all the other elected Republicans who rushed to condemn the verdict would have opposed prosecuting, for example, Barack Obama if he'd falsified business records, cover up a hush money payment, or, I mean, they were all the ones chanting lock Hillary Clinton out?
Well, no, I know this the Alvin Bragg case sets a really bad precedent because, to your point, what if this happened exactly in in a Texas courtroom with a really red district attorney? This opens a Pandora's box in the future, which I'm afraid that you're going to find some crazy person's going to pursue. Alvin Bragg campaigned on
You
going
mean no
after
one's going
Donald
to be
Trump.
able
You're
to
gonna find-
have sex with a porn star and then pay somebody to cover it up? And
No,
they're not
Anderson,
going to
that's
be able
not
to
what
get
this
away
case
with
is
it?
about. This case is about how you file something in your checkbook. This is not about all those other things. That may be the flashy, sexy stuff. But this is about documents. This is a really boring case and it's hard. And the American people, I think, kind of shrug their shoulders. By next week, this will be kind of off the front pages until it won't be again on July 11th, 3 days before the Republican convention. Your previous guest, the judge, is delusional. I think that he thinks that Donald Trump's going to serve prison time. That you might as well just hand the election to him. I mean, the American people would go crazy. They're going to put Donald Trump in jail for a case. It's a misdemeanor. They're not putting people in jail who are robbing stores in New York. It's insane. Even Van would oppose that. But under First Step Act, Van would be, participating in asking for the release of Donald Trump.
Van, and then we got to go.
I agree that he's not going to jail. Anybody says he's going to jail isn't paying attention.
By the way, our guest didn't say he's going to jail. He just was talking about the various legal aspects.
We said he could go to jail. Said he could.
Well, that's conceivable.
That conceivably, yes. And by law, conceivably, yes, he could go to jail.
He also could be
I can
kidnapped.
conceivably grow hair tonight. It's not going to
That's
happen.
inconceivable. That is inconceivable.
I'm not sure which one I'd place bets on, but
Yeah. Hey, look,
David Urban, Van Jones, guys, thank you very much. Coming up next, an assessment of what this could be.